welcome to Bad Hair Day. So today we're talking about adding something to our last composition. It's this one. I don't know if you can see it pretty good, but yeah. That's the one we did last time, and we will add some planets today, maybe a shooting star and stuff like this. And let's jump right in. Okay, but before we can add some planets here, we have to know how to make planets, and I will make a quick demonstration on how planets work. So basically you have the planet. I'm making it precise. So there's a planet. You have, most of the time planets are round or even or appear round, and this isn't a planet, this is a circle. So to make it a planet, we need to add some shading, we need to add some that it gets plastic. At first we need a light source. For this one, the light source will come from the top. So this is the light source here, coming from the top, shining onto the planet. Because the planets are round and they are spheres, the light wraps around in a special way, and the main light hits the object, the sphere, the planet, on the top here. Because it's round shape, you need to make a curve line, because, for example, you make a shading like this, it's looking flat, it's not looking round. To get the round effect, you definitely need to do these rounded corners, these rounded things here. And this is basically what I do first. Add those leading lines to define the round shape of the planet. So this is the first step you always do, and now it looks much more realistic than this one already. When the light comes from the top, probably about here in the middle or a bit lower, the planet gets darker, and you can imply this by creating more curved lines on the bottom where the darkest part is, where the shadow is, and then slowly come up to the top and make less lines so it gets lighter. You can add some lines to the left and right. So the main goal is to get a nice gradient from the darkest spot here on the bottom. You can, when you use a pencil, you can really press hard to make it really dark, and just make sure to always make those curved lines when you shade it, because if not, you get something like this, and this is nothing like looking like a planet. We add the shading here, making curved lines, getting lighter when we come to the top. And because it's a planet and it's floating in space, we don't need to worry about the cast shadow, or a shadow at least. So basically, that's how you do a simple and very simple planet. You can add texture, and you can add like gas clouds whirling around, doing stuff like this here, and making nebula, things like this, or crater, even crater. But those things we don't want to mind yet. We just want to stay with a simple planet, and how to reproduce this sketch as a dot work in this drawing. So I'm starting with creating the planet shape, and I have to look which size I'll use. Normally I decide where to put the planet before I put the stars, because the dark side of the planet, this one here, there will be no stars in it, obviously. So we need to deal with it when we drew the planet and erase some of those white dots just by painting over with black ink. And I'll make a really clean composition. I'll add the planet that's a little bit more or a little bit bigger than the sun here down beneath, and I'll use the pencil to make a first sketch where it will be. And now I have another problem, because this one I drew on white paper, so I have to draw it with white ink on black paper. So actually you don't have to draw the shadows here for this one, you have to draw the light with the white ink on the black paper. And how I do this, or how you can do this, it's pretty easy. You have to follow the same steps or obey the same rules as in the one I showed you in the sketch. Prepare your drawing instrument. This time I'm using the rotring again, 03. So remember what I told you. The light comes from the top, like here. And the light will hit the planet on the very top as well. So I'm making this leading lines for the planet to see the shape. I don't know, you can't see it I think, but it's there like I did here. I created those lines here, those leading lines on this one. So as I said, prepare your pen, and with the dot work start on the very top, because this is the brightest spot where the light from the sun hits the planet. So as you can see, I'm following those leading lines. The top part is the brightest part, and you can redraw those leading lines with some dots, and just make sure to follow those leading lines when you go to the bottom of the planet. And you don't have to worry about if you make the dots very clear or not. The planets are not perfectly round. The dot work doesn't have to be as precise as on other works, because the structure of the planet is not perfect, and so the dots don't have to be perfect as well. But if you're up to create a very clean look, you can be aware of this, but I don't mind if the dots are very precise here on this point. So I'm getting lower on the planet, and the lower I get, the darker the planet will be, because the sun hits it from above. I already told you that, I think, more than often now. And this little planet here flying around, doing stuff. And the good thing is, when you draw with white on black, you always can correct your dots. If you have done too many points or dots, you can just get your black ink pen, and I will show you this. I will make dots in the dark part here as well, where they don't belong, and I can show you how to get rid of them. Just take the fine liner of your choice. It can be from Micron or from Winsor & Newton or Multiliner, any other art pen you like. Just add dots as you did before above the white dots you already made. Depending on what black paper you use, there is a little bit of contrast between the black of the paper and the black of the pencil or the pen, the fine liner, because mostly the fine liners are a little bit darker than the paper itself. So as I said before, I'm painting the darker, the bottom part here a little bit darker, because the sun doesn't hit this area. And I'm adding some shadows here to get a little bit of structure, but not that much. That's pretty much it for a basic planet, and I think I can zoom out now again here. And if it dried, you can take your eraser. I showed you this eraser in the first video I made, and you can gently, really gently erase those lines you made with the pencil before. And that's it. You created the first planet. And you can add, of course, many more planets to the composition. And important is to be aware where the light source is or is coming from. And I will quickly draw you another one. If I want to do another planet, let's say here in this area where there's no stars here, I can do this as well. This time I'm getting the template again, and I'm making a little bit bigger one that fits right inside here. And the light is coming from here, so it hits the planet on the very top. Have the curved lines in mind. You don't always have to draw them, but you should stick your points to it, your dots. And draw less dots when you come to the dark side of the planet, where the light isn't hitting it. And here you go, another one. It's all that easy. And as I said in the intro, we can make things like shooting stars. It's pretty simple. I guess. So the only thing you have to do is pick a star you already made. I take this one. Just add. You can draw a line, or you can make it with dots. I'm making it with dots because everything in this composition is made of dots. So if I would add a line, it wouldn't look as good as when I make dots. So you have to think about how the shooting star, in which direction it flies. Here in my example, I will let it fly to the left, like so. And you can, like I do, sketch with a pencil, but you don't have to. And make sure your pen is writing. And just start adding dots to the star. And let the distance between them get bigger. And maybe you can do a second layer just to make sure it gets a bit longer. And there you go, the shooting star. It's all that easy. You have a nice gradient from the light to the back of the shooting star, because obviously the trail does not last forever and it fades away here. Started with a simple composition. You added 3 planets, a shooting star, and the drawing, I think, already looks much cooler. But I'm sure you guys create much more beautiful things with this technique and much more beautiful compositions. Upload your drawings on Instagram and tag me so I can see them and share them in my story. And yeah, that's it for today. Leave a comment in the section below what you'd like to see on the next video, and I'll try to make it possible for you guys. So, see you later.